Super Bowl predictions. I believe the Super Bowl's in San Francisco this year. And let's just go ahead and get over to it. And this might be pretty boring, but I did want to explain why we picked the teams that we picked, right? We'll start with me first. The Baltimore Ravens are going to win the AFC this year. I think this is the year that they do it, the way that they drafted, everything that they put together for this team. They've got a O-line that's forever improving. Tyler Linderbaum has been everything, and he improves every single year in his technique, and he's been so good for them. And that's, again, Derrick Henry going to their team. There's no reason why he should have did bad. Both of them were really, really good as long as they can stay healthy. But they drafted guys like Carson Vincent to come in, who Alabama A&M product, saw him at the Senior Bowl, was very impressed by him, right? Garrett Dillinger from LSU, they got him later on in the 7th. And right before they picked up Carson Vincent in the 3rd round, they got Emory Jones from LSU as well. So they added depth. Whenever your team is going and you're just adding depth in the draft, that's nasty word. That means they're about to kick y'all ass, in my opinion. Then you get Malachi Starks to team up with Kyle Hamilton, who just got paid a shitload of money, and he's going to be a beast. Roquan Smith, Odafe Oweh, who I feel like gets disrespected every single year. He's such a good player. I love watching Odafe Oweh. Madubuike, all those guys. Great secondary. Then they pick up guys like Jay Higgins, who should have been drafted, to add depth at the linebacker position. He went undrafted and then they kept him on the roster. Then they go and add a little bit of juice for Lamar, going to go get his buddy that he played at Louisville with, Jair Alexander. And then they took, which I think is a huge gamble, because I wasn't the biggest fan of this guy. Didn't really see the talent, but if anybody can bring it out, it's him being surrounded by all those great players. And Mike Green from Marshall, previous to that, Virginia, is going to be their edge rusher. And we can go through their offense, man. Lamar Jackson carrying the mantle this year with a healthy Mark Andrews, right? Isaiah Likely, Charlie Kohler. That tight end room is probably the best in football, and nobody talks about it. They get Keaton Mitchell back coming off an injury. Justice Hill. Rasheen Ali from Marshall. Patrick Ricard, one of the only fullbacks in the game. And then we talked about that offensive line, right? Ronnie Staley, Andrew Voorhees, Tyler Lindenbaum, Roger Rosengarten, right? They gave Rashawn Bateman a contract to remember. Devontae Walker has been stepping up. Went and picked up my guy, LaJohntay Wester, who I feel like is going to find himself in a starting role very, very quickly early for the Baltimore Ravens. I think he's going to be Lamar Jackson's Hollywood Brown. Zay Flowers, we know how good he is. Mr. Contact Balance himself. And then I just, I can't state enough that I can't wait to watch Nate Wiggins growing in his own, and Marlon Humphrey as well, and just the depth they have on that defense, man. A nice Peebles, Broderick Washington, Trenton Simpson from Clemson. I don't think anybody's beaten them in the AFC North this year. I think, and then having Cooper Rush there for Lamar gives him just enough competition to keep him on his toes, because Cooper Rush still thinks that he's a starter. I feel like that's super important for your team. Man, I think the Baltimore Ravens are legit. I think their schedule, starting off against Buffalo week 1 is going to set the tone. Then they go and play Cleveland, Detroit, Kansas City, Houston, Los Angeles before their bye week. They're going to be playing some tough teams right off the gate. And if they make it through that gauntlet of teams, it's going to be smooth sailing from there, ladies and gentlemen. Because they come off the bye: Chicago, Miami, Minnesota, Cleveland, and then the Jets. to lead them into their last two rivalry matchups, which they end with Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. But give me the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC. NFC team for me is going to be, I mean, you guys could guess it, right? I think the Philadelphia Eagles, look, Howie Roseman has put together such an incredible roster of players, and what they did in the draft was great as well. Look, I'm not the biggest believer of 𝗕𝗂𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗧, but if anybody can make 𝗕𝗂𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 even more of a beast, it's probably Vic Fangio. Then they went and got Andrew McCuba from Texas. Let me tell you, I caught wind of him late, and I was like, boy, don't let him go to the Ravens. Don't let him go to the Eagles. Don't let him pair up with, guys like, our boy from South Carolina up there with Seattle. Don't let him go there. And, he went to one of the three evils. And Ty Robinson also gets drafted there. Smaller defensive tackle. But, again, if anybody can make him good, it's Vic Fangio. Mac McWilliams from UCF. Small Munden from Georgia. Would stay out of my DM, Small. I appreciate you, sir. And then Cameron Williams, one of the starting right tackle for Texas. Then they go and get Antoine Powell-Ryland. You know how we felt about him coming out of Virginia Tech. They just loaded up. Again, another team that drafted for depth. Then they go and trade for Sam Howell with Tanner McKee. Tanner McKee is one of those quarterbacks that might have the Alex Smith, Geno Smith type of guys going to be 29 starting and ripping people apart. A.J. Brown week 1 is something serious. They're going to have to play the Cowboys, something serious. But the one question mark about this team, even we know about Saquon, we know about Will Shipley and A.J. Dillon. That's a great backfield on its own. But they've been trying to find a number 3 receiver. Has Jahan Dotson been inconsistent? Yeah. It had some big moments in some big games. Yeah. Had to put Johnny Wilson on IR. But they go and get John Mechie. John Mechie said, I still got a lot to prove in this league, man. Beat cancer. Played at Alabama with a lot of those killers. And teaming back up with his teammate in Devontae Smith. And Jalen Hurts. Good stuff to see, man. It's like Alabama and Georgia players are just all over this roster. Dallas Goedert feels like he's lost a little bit of a step, but is still one of the better tight ends in the league. We talked about this offensive line. Killers all the way across the board, even their depth. To be completely honest with you. Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata. Landon Dickerson, do we even need to say anymore? Cam Jurgens has stepped up. And Kelsey's place. Yeah. And I'm glad to see this on the defensive side. My boy Mauro Ujama from, Texas is getting his reps after they made a couple moves to get rid of some of those players on the defensive line. Jordan Davis has lost some weight. Feeling really good. Started getting him, back on a routine. Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith started to step up and stay healthy. Aziz Ojulari is there. Zach Bond, probably the best linebacker last year, has small money backing him up. And then the battle between Jeremiah Trotter and Jahad Campbell, and who's going to be stepping up in that inside linebacker position next to Zach Bond in his 3-4 defense. Jalix Hunt, got your strong side backer there, was very decent. And then probably the bread and butter of this defense outside of defensive tackle has got to be Quinyon Mitchell, Jacorian Bennett, Reed Blankenship, Sidney Brown, Andrew McCuba, Adoree Jackson, Keely Ringo, and then your boy Cooper DeJean and Mac McWilliams. Killers all over the place. There's no reason why this team is not in anybody's NFC favorites. They're probably not in your NFC favorites if you are a fan of any one of those teams in the AFC East. Look, it is what it is. If the Eagles are not back here, it better be because of some major injuries. Because outside of that, if they're not back in this position, it's their own fault. I think it's a actual total waste of time if they're not back in this position, being in the Super Bowl. And then you talk about the special teams unit, man. Jake Elliott's one of the better kickers in the NFL. Then you're going to have Cooper DeJean returning punts with Will Shipley returning kicks. Man, stop. Who do I have winning, though? That's the important question that you want to know. I think one of these teams is more kryptonite to the other team and can catch them slipping if they don't know what they're doing. And I think this year we don't see a repeat winner from the Eagles, but I see Baltimore finally getting over the hump. I think people respect Lamar Jackson and what he can do. And the one thing that can honestly give the Eagles fits is Lamar himself. Look, you think about, you got to have great linebackers, you got to have great tackling, you got to have great pass rush. But the one dude that you have to stop that's the constant is Lamar Jackson on his offense. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to stop him. It is such an anomaly to have a player like him on this offense. But it's even more of an anomaly to have backup players like LeJontay Wester that are just waiting in the wings to take the top off of people. And most importantly, a healthy Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. They have a number one tight end as their backup. And Charlie Kohler's just sitting there waiting his turn too. All of them are killers. And this might be the time that this offensive line has the best year that they've had under Lamar, and that's scary to say. Give me the Baltimore Ravens as the winner of the NFL this year. It's been a long time coming. John Harbaugh gets this would be his second Super Bowl. And, you know, they definitely dedicate this one to Lamar and what he's done. I don't see how, at the end of the day, if he does beat the Eagles, like I think he would in the Super Bowl, there's no reason why we don't think Lamar is the best player in the last, when he's healthy, in the last 10 years. You got people still calling this dude a running back, and that's crazy. Get used to it, Grandpa. The NFL has changed. Don't know what to tell you. Don's got the Baltimore as well and his AFC pick, and he also has his NFC pick being the Eagles. This is crazy because these are Don's two teams right here. He lives between Maryland and Pennsylvania. Don takes his a little differently, though. He thinks the Eagles are going to repeat. And I can for sure see that happening as well. I don't think that either one of these teams is a bad pick. And if you said that the Eagles would win over Baltimore, I get it. I would not blink twice. I would be in total agreements with you. But that is our Super Bowl predictions, ladies and gentlemen. Been a long time coming. There was a lot of thought put in that, and I think we're going to see a lot of shakeups that happen in the NFL. And I think you're going to see some teams that were bad actually become good. I think you're going to get some surprise conference winners, and just is what it is.